Hi, Charlanne Brew here. I wanted to share a teaching experience that I had the other day with a student. I do some advising of seniors who are preparing their portfolios for graduation, and a student came to me wanting me to advise him, and I asked him what his proposal was for his focus, and he said he wanted to do illustrations of Greek stories or illustrations of scenes from Greek stories. And I said, wow, it's a really great idea. You have a chance to create your own idea, your own characters. And we started looking at references. For example, Eugene Delacroix, and let's see, here he is, right here. This artist, 19th century artist, and happens to be one of my favorites. And he did a really beautiful painting of Death of Sardanapalus. We were talking about the story, and so we got to Googling the story. Sardanapalus is the king of Assyria, and the tale, the death of Sardanapalus, is taken from a Greek historian, Diodorus Siculus. Well, I don't know, a couple days later, he brought in some sketches. And we started talking about things like proportions of the bull. And I was talking about from the back down to the legs is really a big square. And then you have the head coming out. And I talked about the pose, and we spoke a little bit about trying to avoid twinning the legs, making the legs in the same position, the front and the back, and then rather taking the legs and staggering them a little bit to create more asymmetry. And sort of like what you would do with a figure, try to find the contrapposto pose of the figure. We talked a little bit about composition and the rule of thirds and how important it was to creating a focal point in the picture and keeping that focal point approximately off center so that the negative space informs the positive space and makes a more pleasing visual effect. So here you can see this composition is divided into thirds, and that the focal point falls right here where they sort of crisscross. And as I was looking at his drawings, I was saying, your drawings really remind me of this artist, South African artist, William Kentridge. And I got introduced to William Kentridge, oh my goodness, probably 20 years ago. And he was just starting to come on the scene. And he was doing a lot of social commentary types of works. that had to do with the politics and the violence in South Africa. And he was very sensitive to the victims there. And he often uses himself as a model. But my student's artwork, the way he draws in this sort of sketchy, free way, really reminded me of William Kentridge's work. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if you could take your drawings, and it just so happens that this kid is very talented at writing. And I said, and sort of combine your writing with these stories that you're illustrating and make a kind of a palimpsest. And he's going, well, I don't even know what that is. And I said, oh, well, let me show you. So I took him to YouTube. And I showed him this video on William Kentridge. And this is one of his newer works called Pain and Sympathy. But this is him. He uses himself as a model. He uses charcoal. And what he does is he draws all of this. And then when this goes up, he erases from the bottom, and then he photographs it at the bottom. Okay, so he photographs it at the bottom here. And then he erases it, and then he erases it and redraws it here and photographs it again. And erases it and redraws it and photographs it. So you get these little traces of the previous drawing in each photograph. And it's very similar to how the Egyptians used to write on wax tablets. And then they would erase the writing on the tablet to make new notes, but there would always be little traces of the letters that were before. And so he uses this kind of way of drawing and photographing to create these wonderful videos. So this is one of his earlier pieces. And you can see the writing, and you can see how it transitions into the figure. And I like these earlier pieces because the process is much more visible. And yet it's still animation, but it's a combination of fine art and animation. It's pretty fantastic. And I wished I had a recording of the meeting, because if you could see the look on this student's face of just having this possibility of this world opened up to him where he could incorporate his writing with his artwork but still stay within the confines of media arts and animation, it was just so rewarding. And he said, this is a way for me to do what I need to do, but be able to stand apart. And I said, absolutely. And I just wanted to share that with you. I know it's kind of a long-winded way of sharing it with you, but there it is. And it's really cool. I wanted to say this because this is the kind of situation. It's why I really love teaching, because it's never ending journey that I get to take with my students, and and that they get to shine. So thanks for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.